Greetings, beloved. We are back again for the next part of Togetherness Media. This evening, we were talking about self-sabotage, ways we sabotage ourselves, where we mess ourselves all up, and where we, kind of put a monkey wrench in our own plans, and bring our own selves down. And we got to stop doing that. And there's so many different ways that we do that. And who we have here? We have martial artist extraordinaire, yoga master extraordinaire. We got coach extraordinaire, a man that's been around the world. He found his baby. We have Amanollah, the master G. What's up, Amanollah? How you doing today? Namaste.
Namaste. I feel divine, Anthony.
Man, because we are divine, brother. We are divine constantly. We live in that state of divinity, and that state of divinity lives in us. I am so happy to have you on today.
Excellent. Likewise.
Yes. How's your week been?
It was great, and I was very excited actually that I saw Coach Bonnie. Send my love to her.
Yes, we shall.
I haven't seen her for a long time.
Yeah,
it's great to see her face.
Yeah, man, between you two, I'm gonna be sucking up so much game and so much wisdom today, and we're gonna be passing everything that we soak up. We're gonna be putting it out there on Togetherness Media, so we can all grow together. Yeah, and I'm curious to hear what your take is on sabotage. That's one of the things I know, in yoga, what you call it, you get so many people who, when they see things, they give up before they even start. You want me to put my body in this position, so I know that that's one of the things that you see. So I'd really love for you to talk a little bit about how we can stop sabotaging ourselves and how, as a fighter, we can knock that part of ourselves out.
It's a very actually important subject. I remember when I start yoga, it was my master said, if you really want to see a result, you better do it daily.
Mm-hmm.
So I start doing yoga daily for 5 days. 6th day I was sick. So for a couple days, 2-3 days, I was sick. I came back to class. I told him what happened. He said, this is going to repeat it again and again. Watch for it. I said, okay. So I did another 5 days. The 6-7 days, I was sick again. And I said, what do you mean by that? What's going on? He said, you're changing your habit. Anytime you want to change a habit, there is a possibility of resistance, inner resistance from yourself. And that's exactly the distinction of self-sabotage.
Before we go a little bit further, do you mind raising your camera just a little bit so we can get your full head? The top of your head is being caught up, and you have that beautiful hair. We want everybody to see it out there. People are like, oh my God, I turn in to see the gorgeous Amanollah, and I'm not getting the full picture.
Sorry.
There we go. Perfect. Sorry. All right, continue, please.
Yeah.
Now we can bask in your beauty.
Thank you. That shows how much yourself are. We can see things that we have it in ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the reason. You can see beauty because you have beauty within yourself and experiencing it. For that reason, you can see it outside of yourself. There is nothing in the world that we don't have it inside.
Yes.
Excellent. So go back to that conversation. Yeah, self-sabotage is a very natural process. Actually, as soon as you start doing workout or a couple of days of walk on a routine, the 2nd day or 3rd day, you feel, okay, I'm tired, I have pain in my body. And if you just keep doing it, you're going to shift it.
Yeah.
But if you quit, it's done.
Yes.
So in response to what my master says, I was doing yoga almost 5 days, 6 days, and then I was getting sick.
Mm.
This repeated about 4 to 5 times.
Mm.
So almost a month and a half it
Mm.
took me. And after that, I got better and everything was fine. So it's by my persistent, I changed the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, they are talking about something between 21 days to 40 days
Mm.
for shifting some of these patterns.
Yeah.
And the best numbers are 21, 40, and 100 days. So
Mm.
you really want to have a good change, you need to persist for 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will see the difference. And
One of
it's
the
not a matter of the length, it's a matter of repetition.
hmm.
So
Is that what you used to tell the girls?
I don't know what you mean, but that's okay.
So, like, one of the things, like, I thought about in personal experiences, that after I broke my, I had some injuries, and then I gained a lot of weight, and I was trying to lose weight. And whenever, like, I'd work out for a while, and I'd work out so hard, and then I'd give myself an injury and not be able to work out for a while, and then I'd try again, and I'd give myself an injury, and then I would, like, and then I'd, like, have to set back again. So I kept on getting the setbacks. So it's really interesting that you're a master and that you went through the same thing. And it's something that I find people going through. And those numbers that you mentioned, I find are really interesting as well, because those numbers have been, like, especially in religious context, and in so many things, are always so interesting. 21 days, Mercury retrograde usually lasts about 21 days. Those 21 days of craziness. You talk about, you hear in the thing, 40 years in the desert, or 40 days and 40 nights, and there's the 40 days of Lent, and then, and then 100 is always such a round number that so many things happen as well. So it's really interesting to me that you brought up those numbers.
Yes. And interesting, because of that experience, now when I'm going through this, some of my coaches that they want to change some habits, what I ask them, I tell them there are certain time, there are certain date. So it's if they are planning for something for the next 4 months, I tell them these are the critical times.
Mm.
Be sure that you're getting close to this area. Be sure that you don't sabotage yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing workout, be sure around this time, watch yourself, what you're sleeping, what you're eating, watch, because these are the times that we can hurt ourselves. Even as you said, very easy we can injure ourselves in those cycles.
Mm-hmm.
We can hurt ourselves easily. For that reason, now these days, if I think you already heard some of the basketball players, some of the coaches, they especially the physical and build up, they are helping them to build their body.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling them how to build the body and certain muscles so they don't get injured as much as the rest of the players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also goes with the cycle, and they need to work on their diet, the workouts, and also on meditations and how they're processing their resting time.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are important. So it's not only about activity, it's about how much you give time to yourself to rest.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this, it's very important when we are dealing with some new habits that we want to implement, and we want to shift some old habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not only about activity, it's about mentality. I want to move to another point in a second, but I had a question before I did. Did you start at that point? Did you, like, even when you start getting sick, did you start forcing yourself to power through and do yoga during those days that you were sick anyway? And is that how you were able to break through that cycle?
Actually, what I did, my master told me several things. First, if you have fever, you shouldn't do any yoga. You need to rest. If you feel total exhaustion, you shouldn't do any yoga. But if you feel, oh, it's hard or I don't feel like it, definitely do your yoga. So any conversation in my head, I was dealing with it. But anything about seriously that I was feeling in my body, I was respecting it.
Okay. And
Most
then,
of the time, the conversation in the head stops us more than our body. But sometimes your body is in a situation that you need to consider and listen to it. And that's another part of it that is very important. We need to learn the language of our body.
yeah, you've
I
spoken so much
believe
about observation, about observing, stopping to observe our body.
exactly. And I believe you, because you have done workouts, you know that there is a certain time after a couple days, you feel your muscles are sore.
Yeah.
But that kind of soreness is a way of saying, okay, good job, I did it. I need to keep doing it. But there is a certain uh, damage to the body that you need to watch it and you need to listen to it.
Exactly.
Especially when in my classes, I tell them there are certain pains. Then when you go through that, I seriously suggest you to stop it. One is a burning sensation when you're stretching. If you're stretching and you have a burning sensation, I don't suggest you to push it too much. Slow it down. Keep it a little bit less.
And if you have
And
another type of
another
burning
one,
sensation, go to the clinic.
yeah, see, this is the thing here. uh, I don't want to go there.
So, one thing I was thinking about earlier when you were talking about meditation, I'm a big sports fan, and in my opinion, one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time was Phil Jackson. And one thing that he did, his first, once he became the head coach of the Chicago Bulls and the head coach of the Lakers, he took them over to the next level, to Jordan's first championships, Shaq's first championships, and all of Kobe's championships. And one thing he did with all of his teams is that he brought meditation into their lives.
Exactly.
He brought mindfulness into their lives. And, the number 333, the time I was born, is having that full connection between mind, body, and spirit, which is also what yoga is about. And oftentimes, one of the reasons that people sabotage themselves so much is that the three things aren't quite connected enough. Would you mind speaking about connecting all three elements of our being so that we can get past that self-sabotage?
Exactly. Actually, very good point. The whole point about this, we need to create a partnership between body, mind, and emotion. But if you were my age, probably you have heard, or you have heard from some older people, oh, ignore it, just go and do it, just ignore it. Ignorance doesn't help. Communication helps. Paying attention helps. Listening to your body helps. Listening to your emotion helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ignoring your emotion, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even at
one
my
of the
age, like
things that
I died once. My dad just told me to rub some dirt on it and keep on moving. So I understand. Like that's that old school mentality.
yeah, it's like forget it. Just don't feel like it. Just you go and do it. No,
Yeah.
you need to listen to it, and
Acknowledge it.
exactly, you need to be aware of it. You need to pay attention, and then little by little go out of your comfort zone. Push it a little bit more. Push it a little bit more. but a little bit, not too much.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the injuries I had from martial arts when I was young was because of that old mentality. You were going down, they would push you more instead of listening
Mm-hmm.
to the limitation that if you push it too much, you can break it. You
Yeah.
can cut it off.
Harmed by
You
hubris.
can. Exactly. So that partnership between body, mind, and emotion is very important. And the facilitator for that body, mind, emotion is your observer.
Mm.
You start observing your body, observing your mind, observing your emotion, being aware of all of them, and also moderating and creating some kind of a partnership instead of constantly being in fight. You know how many people I had as a student that they came and they told me that they had injuries in yoga?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, nobody should get injured in yoga because yoga is not a competitive um, sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about ripping and hurting yourself and ignoring it. It's about paying attention, facing it, deal with it, and let your muscle, you listen and understand your muscle, and your muscle start understand you and open it itself. It's stretching itself.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there is very simple. There are techniques I show it to my student that how with breathing and paying attention, your body responds, and all of a sudden can do things that it cannot do it 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. And the base of it is paying attention, listening to it, and being aware of how your body, mind, and emotion working together.
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Sure.
People always talk about give guidelines for how much of a day should be spent in physical exertion, how much should be spent in meditation, how much should be spent in self-education. How much time would you recommend people spend in self-observation?
Oh, on observation, 24/7.
24/7. Okay. Good
Yeah,
answer.
it's like starting from now on and start being more and more present to yourself till you become like so aware that you can be aware of your when you're sleeping and when you're awake. Even when you're sleeping, still you can be observant of yourself.
Treat yourself like Santa Claus, knowing you're sleeping, knowing you're awake. See yourself when you're sleeping, see yourself when you're awake.
I like it. I like that metaphor, Santa Claus. Some people tell me I look like Santa Claus.
much more handsome, much better shape. Much better shape than
Thank you.
Santa. Yeah.
Thank you. Definitely.
Yes.
200-300 pounds less.
Yes. But we'll call you Saint G though, instead of Saint Nola instead of Saint Nick. Yes, which call it so 24/7. That's very true. All right, so we have about a minute left. Any last moment, any last thoughts that you would really love to give our viewers and bless me with on not sabotaging ourselves?
Yeah. The one thing I can just offer is because self-sabotage has some um, negative connotation in it, that it's like I'm against myself. The point is not being against myself.
Before
It's
yourself.
like there are part of me that they are not in
Alignment.
partnership or alignment with me. Let's create that alignment. Let's bring every part together. That's exactly what is happening politically out right now. It's like this separation. It's not separation. These are different way of being that we need to respect everybody. Now, how can I bring this consensus and bring this harmony that in a way that from wherever on the top and wherever at the bottom, we can help everyone to come as a nation together and support each other instead of being against each other.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
So instead of considering self-sabotage, we say, okay, there are parts of me that is not aligned with this new structure or new habit that I'm starting it. I have used myself self-sabotage a lot, but I realized when I use it as a self-sabotage, then all of a sudden in my mind goes somewhere that normally I categorize it as a bad guys, as a bad thing, as some negative thing. And as soon as we put something as a negative, all of a sudden we go against it. And this kind of creating separation and being against, it creates war. It creates conflict. And we want to create togetherness. Exactly, togetherness. What the TV is. We want to bring everybody together instead of separating them.
Which is what yoga is bringing things together, connecting
yes,
self, connecting to self, and connecting to source.
We can have another name for the TV. We can have another name for the TV. Yoga TV.
Yes.
Togetherness.
Yes. And I'm so happy to be here together with you. I'm so happy to be yoked with you. Tell everybody how to find you again, just to all of our viewers.
Sure. On my Instagram is Amanollah at Amanollah G, and Amanollah has double L. And on Facebook, Amanollah Kahraman, GHAHRAMAN. It's easy, you can find it. But in most of it, I don't have beard, but in most of the pictures.
Oh, beautiful.
It's before COVID.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Saint Nola. And we appreciate you. And man, I can't wait till next week when you break some more things down for us. And man, brother, I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you.
Have a beautiful, beautiful evening.
You too, brother. Have a divine evening. May the angels choreograph the rest of your night. That was Amanollah G. Namaste, brother. Thank you once again. And you know, I'm also so happy that because I'm not a fan of using negative words. I like to use positive words, and even how I address things that are quote unquote negative. And that realignment, that re-yoking, that repurposing of bringing ourself back into our full self, of removing things that no longer serve us, and embracing things that will serve our highest good, and in embracing things that will serve the highest good of the planet around us. And that's what we're here about in Togetherness Media, and we're so thankful for everybody here. You know what? If you haven't yet, download the app, subscribe to the website, because there's some stuff that isn't on Instagram that we do have on our website. You're missing out on some amazing programs if you're not there yet. And also, remember to be divine. You are so loved. Stay tuned for the shows coming up, Tech Savvy, Hello Hollywood Daily, and we have an amazing, amazing show tomorrow with some amazing guests that you do not want to miss. Love you for watching. See you tomorrow.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com.